Hello and welcome to the Dharma Masterclass. My name is Halo Saranko and I'm going to be the guide in this conversation and exploration of a topic that I think is incredibly important in our times, and a topic that, I really pray that so many of us leaders, especially in the spiritual realm, are willing to explore, are wanting to explore, and are stepping up to have this conversation. There are many conversations happening in the online world right now, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship and leadership and coaching and all these positions where we are taking on the immense responsibility for other beings' experiences. And for those of us who are doing this in a spiritual context, there's a whole other added complexity for how we are navigating this, how we are holding ourselves and others as teachers, as leaders, as entrepreneurs, and as guides in whatever capacity that might be, coaching, etc. So what I've been so curious about and what my specialty is, my business is Shakti Temple Arts. I've been in business for 7 years now. So I'm at that 7-year cycle where a lot of things can start to change. And I think any good leader, entrepreneur is constantly a student, constantly learning from life, constantly unveiling, seeing what feels like, that's not quite it, and then clarifying until we're like, yes, I'm in my seat, this is it. And what I have come to on my long journey of bridging Eastern spiritual traditions into the West, and also having the conditioning of a Western mind, being a white woman from the USA, it's been a unique challenge, and it's a unique challenge I think many of us are navigating. And so this masterclass series was kind of an answer to that call, because in modern spirituality, we see a lot of taking parts from traditions outside of our own maybe cultural context, without also bringing the moral framework or the value system of that spiritual tradition with us into how we are sharing it and how we're using the principles and all that. So it's kind of like we're cutting it off from the root. This is especially true in the yogic system where, I'm just going to use this as an example. We've taken asana, which is like the very physical posturing, but we haven't explored the deeper aspects, which is one of the things we're going to do in this master class. Like, how do we live our lives? What does yoga look like off the mat? And specifically, what does yoga look like in the context of leadership and in that seat of great responsibility and service, right? So what we're going to explore here is what Dharma is. We oftentimes hear nowadays Dharma being used as like, what is your purpose? Like, what is your mission? What are you here to do? And that's a part of it. But the whole context of Dharma is so much larger than that. It's really about a coherency with the whole and righteous action, meaning action that's going to create more harmony, more beauty, ripples out from us into the whole, into the collective, and not just when we're leading a group, but in our day-to-day choices of action and word and even thought, right? So that's just a little nugget. We're going to go way deeper into what is Dharma, what does it mean to walk in Dharma, what is a Dharma, how do we know when we're not walking that, what are the cues in the body when we're like, ooh, I wasn't in full integrity or in alignment there, versus when we're like, I feel confident and clear in how I am holding this and how I am walking and how I am speaking, right? It's a totally different kind of empowerment, right? It's a true and total empowerment. So the answers that so many of us are seeking are found in these traditions themselves, right? We want to bring the moral framework and the value system of the spiritual systems that we're working with. Now, this masterclass, while we're geared towards a yogic lens, towards a tantric lens, it's not exclusive to that. I believe spirituality is universal. So even if you're on a path of, Christianity or, the Mary Magdalene lineages or anything like that. This is all going to come together. Even if we look in the Bible, we have the 10 Commandments, right? These are kind of a moral framework or a basis. And the yamas and niyamas that we're going to be looking at are kind of like the 10 Commandments of the yogic system. What we're going to do that's unique here in this exploration is we're going to go through these 10 commandments in the yogic system. They're really codes of conduct and observances that we can do every day to keep ourselves in alignment. What we're going to do that's unique is many people explore these in like a yoga teacher training, and they're kind of just given as like, well, to be honest, they're required by the Yoga Alliance. So oftentimes it's just kind of like, here's what it is, But what we're going to be doing here is we're really going to be going into them and looking at them through the lens of leadership, of entrepreneurship, and we're going to use them as a way to watch our egos. Because in modern spirituality, when we don't have these checks and balances, our egos can get really caught up in the work we're doing and the image that it provides us and the fame and all of these things. But if we are entrepreneurs on the path of spirituality, if we're sharing spiritual framework for our clients, spiritual orientations, this kind of thing, it's really important that we have these checks and balances. It's really important we're able to get out of our own way and truly serve. So this class is about having these checks and balances and ways to be like, how can I be in my sovereignty and also be in coherency with the whole, right? This is the next phase of evolution. Yes, we need our freedom, we need our sovereignty, we have to have that strong root. But that doesn't mean that we lose contact with the whole and how our words and actions and way of being and leading as an example, that's even more important, right? That's where we start to come into coherency. How do I create the ripples of beauty, the ripples of good karma instead of entangled, mushy karmas that when we're not really walking in that way, that clear way starts to happen? This is what we're looking for. We want to walk in beauty. It might be a slower journey. The results or the gratification might be a little more delayed than playing the social media games and this and that. But at the end of the day, the richness that will be felt inside and the lack of confusion, the confidence, the gnosis in your path and the way that you are walking it will be so worth that choice. So I am a firm believer we can have, we can bridge these worlds. You can be in the world, you can build abundance, you can build a business, you can lead, you can become somebody, and you can also maintain that connection to the unseen realms. You can continue to strip down the layers of ego and conditioning and start to live from essence more and more and more, and this is where your greater impact will come from. So I hope you will join us on this beautiful and powerful and needed exploration of Dharma and these spiritual principles in leadership.